So we need to consider how to put together an effective Kriya Yoga routine. And this is going to be based on routines that we've gone over previously on this channel. So you might have to go back and review the Kriya Life Force Arousal, the Kriya Pranayama, and the Jyoti Mudra techniques, but they're all there for you. And we're going to discuss the basic routine, meaning what to do during the first 6 months to year of your practice. Now, whenever you're going to meditate, in any kind of meditation, it's an excellent idea to have the same time and same place every day dedicated to meditation. And I mean every day, so not just on the weekdays or just on the weekends. When I first got involved in meditation, when I was first initiated, I practiced every day for an hour in the morning and a half hour in the evening. Even if I didn't feel well, I still made myself get up and try it, attempt to do it. We do have to remember that when you don't feel well, certain parts of the Kriya technique you don't want to do, and so you want to review the video dealing with when not to practice Kriya techniques. But anyway, what you'll find is the more you take care of yourself, the better people you surround yourself with, the better food you eat, the more you meditate, you'll be healthier anyway, and you won't have to worry about not being well, or you'll just be healthier more often. So what do? I always like to start out meditation with alternate nostril breathing. So again, you can review this on previous talks, you can Google it, but essentially you just want to begin your meditation with alternate nostril breathing. And I do 12 to 24 rounds of alternate nostril breathing. Doing 24 rounds of alternate nostril breathing, that takes me about 12 to 15 minutes. So that's a good period of time to fill in the space of your meditation. I do this because it allows me to get my body settled, to balance the prana, the energy, life force within my body, and also to balance the nervous system, to calm the nervous system down. The more refined and calm the nervous system, the better of a meditator you'll be. So we'll start there. After you practice any technique, Kriya or otherwise, in meditation, then what you do is you simply sit in silence. So you practice alternate nostril breathing for 12 to 24 times. You're sitting up straight, your eyes are closed, you're calm, you're relaxed. And then you just hold your awareness at your spiritual eye, just feel that area or your crown, and just sit for 2 to 5 minutes, breathing, watching, being present with your consciousness. And what you'll find is that usually after doing each technique, the mind becomes a little calmer, a little subtler. The emotions become a little less distracting. The body becomes more comfortable. Of course, you don't want to go to sleep. You don't want to get that relaxed. But you just want to sit in the silence. That's actually the transformational, the most profound aspect of a meditation practice. Once you do that, then you begin the actual Kriya procedures, such as the Life Force Arousal technique or the Mahamudra. You do that 3 times. After you do that, again, you sit in the silence for a minute or two, just breathing, being with what you are, as you are. After you sit for a while, then you begin the Kriya Pranayama, circulating the life force through the spine. And it's advised that beginning meditators or beginning Kriya practitioners do this 12 to 14 times. Traditionally, 12 times. Why do we say 14? Well, just in case you didn't really do it well the first 2 times. So it's just to give you a bit of a jump start. After the 14th repetition, you pull the current up through the spine, up to the crown, hold the awareness here, and then let the breath happen naturally. Just breathe while keeping your awareness in the crown chakra. And then you sit in the silence, waiting, watching, being alert, yet relaxed, poised. And I like to imagine this as though you're outside and you're looking at some clouds, or you're looking at birds on a lake. And when you're doing that, you're engaged. You're just looking. You're not thinking. You're not conceptualizing. You're just present with it. That's the kind of state we want to be in after we go through a particular meditation technique. And it's important to note that just because You might still have thoughts, or you might not be fully relaxed, or there still might be distractions. It doesn't mean you're not meditating well. It just means there's stuff there that needs to be neutralized or refined. And by going through the process, the Kriya Pranayama process, and by sitting in the silence, whatever comes up, as long as you just remain as that witnessing, observing presence, you neutralize that karma. As the days, months, and years go by, that gets less and less and less, until eventually you reach that stage in which you think meditation is supposed to be like, where there's nothing there except just pure existence being. So either way, as long as you're there and as long as you are alert and awake, you're doing it fine. The problem comes when you are tired and you daydream, or you nod off and you fall asleep, or you start thinking about something and you get so involved in it that you forget what you're doing. That's not effective. So if you're doing that, right, you want to start over. Or at least use your willpower to get yourself back into center. Now again, once you go through the Kriya Pranayama and you're sitting there quietly as best you can, do that for 2 to 5 minutes again, simply sitting in the silence. Once that's passed, then you want to begin the Jyoti Mudra, circulating the life force up through the spine with your eyes and ears covered, chanting Om through the spiritual eye. Again, if you need to review previous videos on this channel for that, it's a good idea. Do that 3 to 4 times, and then sit in the silence afterwards until your meditation practice is over, until the time that you've chosen, whether it's 20, 30, 40 minutes, however it might be, however long it might be for you. And at the end of every meditation practice, it's helpful to take some time to acknowledge the divinity within and around you, however you conceptualize it. Whether you conceptualize it as a divine being, a divine mother, pure infinite consciousness, it doesn't matter. Just honor and acknowledge that within and around you and throughout every aspect of your experience, every aspect of your life. And then go about your day and do this every day. And this is it. For beginning meditators, you want to do this in the morning and at night if you can, or just once a day if you can. But you want to be consistent with it. And then as time progresses, we'll do another video with more intermediate procedures. And all we do there is just maybe add some supplemental techniques, or extend the duration of sitting in the silence, or add some Kriya Pranayamas. We usually add them in increments of 12, meaning that when you begin, you do 12 Kriya Pranayamas, 12 to 14. And then after that, after 6 months to a year, you add 12 more, and it keeps going in that way. And eventually what will occur is that these practices will so neutralize those distractions within your consciousness that you're able to sit quietly and clearly. Then you're able to contemplate the essence of your being. Then you're able to contemplate, who am I? What is the nature of God? All these questions that you have, you can contemplate them and get direct answers. And that's where the real joy within the practice comes in. That's where you move from just exercising to get healthy to feeling great about having a healthy consciousness and a healthy body. And using that analogy, these techniques, I like to compare them to going to the gym. You don't go to the gym or work out or exercise so that you can work out or exercise more. You do it so that when you live your life, you can be healthy, you can be happy, you can have more energy to play with your children or to give to your useful activities, those things that you're inspired to do, so that you can lift heavy things and not get hurt, so that you can not have a heart attack. You go to the gym so that you can be healthy, essentially. You don't go to the gym so that you can keep going to the gym. Same thing with these practices. You don't practice the Kriya Pranayama, these Kriya techniques, so that you can do more of them. You do it so that you clarify your consciousness, which is why sitting in the silence is so important. In fact, the most important thing. Eventually, the consciousness becomes so strong and clear that you rarely even need a technique. And if you do, it's usually just for a little bit of exercise, internal exercise. But most people then, after years go by, can sit quietly and they flow themselves into that space, just like that, and they can stay there. And that's equivalent to having someone who's done what needs to be done to make their body healthy and strong. So they don't have to keep trying. It's just maintenance after that point. So remember that. We do these things not so we can do more of them. We do these things so that we can live our immortal, inspired, divine life as an individualized aspect of this consciousness, while knowing that we are the infinite. That's probably it in a nutshell. And finally, just keep it simple. These techniques, there's a friend of mine who's also a fellow Kriya meditator. We get together once a week and we meditate for 2 hours, and we just go through these procedures, same ones, over and over again, just like we do every day by ourselves. And we have this extended period of time because it allows us to go deeper. And by getting together with someone who's on the same wavelength as you, you know that they're doing the same thing. That makes the experience stronger, which is why ideally meditation groups are a good idea, but they don't always work out that way. Because in most meditation groups, people go to it for community or to fit in or to belong. And meditation groups really, in my mind, should be like training groups, meaning that you know that you're going to use the same techniques, that you have the same ideal in mind to aspire to realize. And when you get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 people together, all on the same wavelength, that really empowers the process. If you have a whole group of 20 people, and 5 of them are nodding off, and 5 of them are thinking about their grocery list, and 2 of them are thinking about their relationships, and only 3 of them are actually meditating well, that's not really that supportive. In fact, it's actually not so good for the 3 who are meditating well, because we have this thing called entrainment, where we have mirror neurons within our body, our nervous system. And that's when you see someone else smile, and the neurons within your own nervous system all fire the same way as the person that you just saw. So when you're with someone who's meditating very well, those mirror neurons, we'll just use that idea, they also get activated, and so you get to meditate better. So if everyone else is distracted, well, your mirror neurons are going to be distracted as well. So when it comes to meditation groups, you just want to be careful about what groups you get involved in. You want to make sure that the people are there for the purpose of meditation, that they are serious about it, not dour, but just they're into it. And it's the same with any area of life, whether you're trained to be a professional athlete or a musician. If you get together with a group of people who play music and you want to make good music, you all have to be on the same wavelength. Because if you're not, the drummer is going to be goofing off, the banjo player is not going to care, and maybe the fiddle player is the one who's actually serious about it. So nothing ever comes from it. But if you get 4 or 5 people together who are pushing it, who are on the same wavelength, who have the same vision, then you get good music. Same thing with meditation practice. And it really is a shame, all these different groups, ours is the best, we have the right technique and so on. That's silly. As long as the vision is there, the capacity to focus and the devotion is there. And if you're doing it the same, it's okay if you're in your own group. And it's okay if other groups do it a different way. Using the analogy of musicians, there are different genres of music. And sometimes it's interesting to mix genres together, and it comes out with something fascinating, but most of the time it's just a wreck. So you want to get in the same genre that resonates with you. If you find it, stick with it, leave everybody else alone. And hopefully they'll leave you alone too. But the point being, do this every day. If you have 1 or 2 people that you know are serious, that you can practice and not talk about it, not turn it into a social hour, that can be very helpful for you. It's like group training, group meditation training. But if it's just you, that's all you need, because there are plenty of other people in the world who are doing it too, and you can also be a part of that consciousness. So take some time, apply these, set your time, 20, 30, 40 minutes, whatever you're comfortable with, do it. And if you have any questions about Kriya practices that I can answer, I'm happy to do that. Again, I've been working with people for a number of years. I've been practicing these techniques myself since around 2000. And if you have questions that I have experience with, I'll respond, and I'll do it in a video format. We'll do it on this channel. If you have questions that I can't respond to or don't have any experience with, don't take it personally, but I might not respond to those, just for the sake of time. So enjoy, and we'll be in touch soon. Thank you.